Hello, it is Diane Cox here, back with some Astro Tarot joy. I tell you, the sun comes out and all the shadows come. I don't quite get it. It's probably the oak tree casting shadow outside the window. But it's quite funny because when the sun comes out, I get this kind of shadow energy comes. And when the sun goes in, the light levels come up. It's kind of weird, freaky stuff. So I'm doing today a little, it's kind of a bit of a blend, a mix, because like most of the world, I've been horrified, appalled to see what is going on in Hawaii. And okay, I'm shuffling my cards, and then as I was talking, this came out. So the Chariot came out. This card about who's in control. Are you feeling control? Where are you driving? I was talking about Hawaii, so who's in control? I have heard so many things about what happened there. People were told to stay in their homes. The alarm wasn't sounded. The water was turned off, and there was what seems like very unusual levels of fire and just that kind of melting glass kind of thing and melting metal kind of stuff. So it's interesting. I was thinking about that, and then the Chariot comes up. I mean, the Chariot, obviously you've got one white horse, one black horse, and it can be do you feel in control of steering the Chariot? Do you feel like you're going in the direction you want it to? Obviously it normally depends on what's around it, so what cards are around it. But looking at I was thinking astrologically, Jupiter was in Aries fire sign up until mid-May, and there has been a lot of fires going on. And then it went into Taurus. So I'm quite interested that you've got Jupiter in Taurus, the Earth. It's here's my shadow self. Okay, I feel like pulling a funny face, but I won't. Don't want to scare you all. It's so you've got Jupiter in Taurus, and the Earth. So we're looking at the Earth. Jupiter is going through an Earth sign ruled by Venus, the beauty of Earth, the bountifulness of Earth. And yet, at the moment, Jupiter is making some squares to the Sun, which is in Leo, and to Venus, which is also in Leo. So you've got this fire energy squaring with Jupiter. And as I often say, you don't often get, the thing that you get with Jupiter as a negative is excess. So it's interesting, Jupiter is in an earth sign, squaring the Sun in Leo, fire, and squaring Venus, fire, and an excess of sun and fire energy squaring Jupiter. And then I was also considering the Saturn in Pisces. And I said in a video a while back that Saturn in Pisces can give structure to water. Okay, it can give an order and a good method for controlling, using, utilizing, reusing water. And then, the other half of Saturn, it's like thwarting, restricting water. And I thought it was quite interesting, that Maui thing, that evidently they didn't have enough water. There was just the fire engines turned up and they didn't have water. It's just like, how can that happen? How, especially on an island. But very bizarre. I mean, there's nice, there's nice things happening in the astrological heavens, but it doesn't seem like, you're looking at the nice stuff when you're watching people and families just go through. I won't talk about it because it's just hideous. So what's going on? And then you've got fires in Canada and Montana and Spain and Tenerife and... Okay, I'm going to do a quick reading on that because I'm finding it just bizarre. So here we go with the reading. It's quite a difficult question, really. Just trying to sort out what this fire is about. Like I say, do they use those what they call direct energy weapons, laser weapons? Is it Mother Earth just fighting back? And unfortunately, as fires do, they burn everything that stands in their path, which is not a nice way of thinking, but it's a reality, unfortunately. So let's have a look anyway. Let's just see what these cards say about the fires and us and Earth and anything else that comes up. Okay. So I've already shuffled them. The first card, it's very kind of apt. Zeus, the Ace of Wands, the uprush of fire, the kind of energy that comes from being restless and kind of a bit dissatisfied with where you're at. And there's a need for change. A need for change. I think that is really quite a very poignant thing. We need change in the world. And of course, it's like anything. When anything is transformed, the universe doesn't always give us change the way we want it or the way we expect it, which is very difficult, isn't it? Sometimes transformation happens in all kinds of mysterious, bizarre ways. So there we have the Ace of Wands. Zeus is like, okay, fire. And fire is, as you know, the element of drive, motivating, moving forward, action. Fire is action. So maybe we start there, that there's some huge transformative change that is needed, and the fire is a way of doing it, even though obviously for me it goes, oof, really? Can't it be a nice way of transforming? Okay, what's the crossing card? Okay. Here we have the Knight of Cups. I wasn't expecting that, the Knight of Cups in this fiery meltdown of mayhem and chaos. But, you know, here we have Perseus bringing love. Here he is bringing love, bringing sensitivity. I always think sometimes the Knight of Cups is that kind of love. It's a bit innocent. It's a bit kind of naive in a way. And I can make sense of that, because with these fires and the mayhem, people are trying to do their best. It's bizarre, isn't it? The way that chaos and misfortune and these horrible kind of things that happen, whether it's natural or unnatural, does bring out the best in people. You know, people rally round, they come together and they try and help in any way they can. And of course, those people that have lost their life in these fires, they are they teach us all. They're all teachers. They teach us lessons about our value of life. And again, what to trust, what not to trust. We watch or we hear what happened to these people who lost their lives, and it's a lesson to us, isn't it? How to be or how not to be. If we ever, you know, God forbid, find ourselves in similar situations. So maybe the Knight of Cups is referencing that. The overarching card, didn't expect that either. Who would have thought that Eros and Psyche end up in this reading, celebrating their love, celebrating their coming together of two souls. What an interesting card. Water. We've got night. We've got fire. Water. Very interesting. And so, what do we celebrate? What is there? Maybe it's again just building on what I've just said. When this kind of stuff happens, even that's happening all over the world, as you see in Spain, Tenerife and Montana, I saw it, and it's all over the place. I think there's a lot of fires in Africa. It brings out it can bring out a relationship. You know, this is relationship. It's something to celebrate. It's a coming together of loving energy. It's a step in the right direction. It is again unity. It is seeing the best. So the Knight of Cups and then the Three of Cups. Very interesting. Eros and Psyche make it into this reading. I really wasn't expecting that at all. The Three of Cups really celebrating love and, you know, being toasted, yeah, kind of, you know, celebrated. That's a very poor choice of words. Just being celebrated there by the mermaids, and, you know, obviously recognizing the great joy of love and of the potential. Maybe that's it again. Even though the threes are normally, you've already got, things are already on their way, things are already happening, but it's something to celebrate that loving, creative, flowing energy. So what's at the base of this question? Oh, another cups. Wow, interesting. This is where Psyche has basically listened to the gossip of the wrong people, and she looked upon Eros's face when she was not meant to, and he has to flee because she's looked upon the god. And here she is sitting, reflecting on how she got here. Why am I here? Why am I in this position? Always good to look back and go, how did this happen? So you can stop it happening again. And it's they say, it's a kind of nostalgia. Something in the past is coming into the present to help basically harmonize and throw light and insight onto the present situation, which is quite interesting, isn't it? That's the base of it. So have we been here before? Has humanity been here before, where they've disrespected Earth, they've disrespected or kind of ignored Earth and not paid her homage like she should? Have we ended up in this situation again with fires and floods? I mean, look at the floods in China and everything, and Germany. It's really funny, like I say, with the Saturn and water, putting structure to water, or or not, or water being controlled. Again, that could be weather modification. We all now know that geoengineering is real, and weather modification is absolutely real. And humans, you're not gods. As much as you want to be, you are not the great supreme intelligence that a lot of humans think they are. So leave it alone. Learn from the past. Learn from Lemuria and Atlantis and everything that went wrong. I've read that, in some of these ancient places, they came up with what we would see as nuclear weapons, this massive energy, and it just used it wrongly, and it all got... yes, well, we know what happened. So what's in the past? Well, that definitely makes sense. This is the card in the past position. It's like torture, feeling torture. This is Orestes, between the rock and a hard place. He had to, he's been told that he got told by Apollo that he has to kill his mother. And these, what are they? The goddesses, that's not the fates. I'll remember what it is. Basically are saying, hey, he cannot kill his mother, it's the most terrible crime. So he's got Apollo on one side telling him to kill his mother because his mother killed his father, typical myth. And this is torture, mental pain. So in the past we've been through mental pain. Are we going to get out of it? How are we going to get out of this mental pain, this torture? What do we do in order to turn this around? It's like that film, the modern version with Keanu Reeves of The Day the Earth Stood Still. Only on the precipice do we learn, and do we actually make amends of our careless ways. Are we going to do that? Whether it's taking people in power to task, or Mother Nature does it, and either we don't accept what is being, what we're being told to do, and we say no, we are sovereign individuals and beings, and we do what's right for us. No longer do we follow your dictate, or Mother Earth is going, okay, enough. You humans, you still haven't learnt. You still haven't learnt from the past. You're still polluting and doing all kinds of stuff and disrespecting Earth. So, you know what I feel about climate change. I've said it already. It's amazing how they're going about climate change and plastic bags years ago. Well, they're pumping the most vile, toxic things into the oceans, into the air. And look at that Ohio train crash a while back. Like the pollution of that thing, but they don't say anything when they do it. It's and you look at the records of the climate change as it is. It's always changed. There's nothing new. So anyway, Diane, onwards with the future card. What does it say here? Oh well, I really get that. Four of Swords. So we've got two sword cards after each other. So rest. We need to rest and think. I'm thinking about obviously Hawaii, Lahaina, and basically just thinking about all of that. Everybody needs to take stock of this. Everybody needs to withdraw and look at the overview of what happened on this occasion. I heard that estate agents have been going in and asking people if they are for money, if they're ready to sell their plot. And I've heard this. I've heard, it's a big thing to take over Hawaii, build a smart city, and just ruin everything, just burn everything down, and then there's no other choice apart from build up the way these people in power want to build it up. So imagine getting a phone call when you're just in such shock saying, oh, can we buy your plot of land? And people have lost everything, so obviously they need money, and then suddenly someone's going, oh, can we buy your plot of land? It's just hideous. I mean, it's the worst of humans, isn't it? It's the absolute worst of corrupted, sick, psychopathic humans. Anyway, let's go. Where do we find ourselves? Okay. Oh, Seven of Swords. Okay. So this is interesting. So you've got here the 9, where Orestes has got this terrible job of being between Apollo and these ferocious goddesses. And here he is. So at this point, he's decided he is going to kill his mother, and he's sneaking around the back entrance of the castle, cloaked with his weapons and some trusty friends nearby who are going to help him. And and this is a card of excuse me, sometimes having to be deceptive, cunning, using your wily kind of nature, and just having to be tactical in order, because obviously if he goes in the front door to kill the queen, he'll just be murdered the minute he steps in. So this is a card of he's going around the back of the castle, he's going to let himself in, and he's going to kill his mother. So it's a card of kind of deception, but almost for a good purpose. It's fate, it's fated. This is what he's got to do. Otherwise, Apollo will curse him forevermore, and then he's got to deal with these who are all also cursing him. But it comes out all right in the end. Poor bloke. So, sorry, this is in the position of where we find ourselves, having to be cunning, wily, having to use our wisdom and knowledge in a way that could be seen as deceitful, but I think it's for self-survival. You've got these people in charge, in power, who are not the best of people, politicians. They don't have other people's welfare, the people they're meant to serve at their heart. Anyway, I'm trying not to go off on one, but they're not. These people are deranged, a lot of them. So we have to maybe find out ways, and maybe with it, I wanted to look at the fires and stuff. So yeah, it's interesting that so this reading would say, bring up that there's more routes to go than just head on. Find the downward paths, the side paths, in order to survive, in order to circumnavigate some of these processes and things. I mean, when I heard that people were told that they had to stay where they were, not to just stay in their homes, it's so against instinct. You've got a raging wildfire coming in your direction. The instinct is not to stay put. And the fact that they would ask people to stay in their homes with their kids, what is wrong with them? And there is something wrong with them. You don't do that. You get as much, you get helicopters, you get people airlifted out, you save people if you're in charge of, protect and serve communities. Very, very bizarre to ask them to stay when a wildfire is ranging towards them. Very against every instinct in the body. How are other people looking in on this situation? That's weird. Daedalus. But this is a card of recognition of skills. So maybe those people in power know there's a massive skill. I know this is said so much by people. There's so many skills in the world. There's so many skilled people in every way, shape and form. that we mustn't rely on being told to stay in our homes. We must find our own path that keeps us safe and our families and friends and everyone safe. And, so when people look in on this situation, people know this is Daedalus being petitioned by people to make them things because they realise his skill and knowledge, and he's a craftsman. So there are so many craftsmen in the world. We need just to get it together. Maybe I sound like a stuck record, but we just need to use our craft and our skills and everything just to go, okay, no, not anymore. We're not sitting at home while a wildfire comes raging in our direction. We're not doing that. We're doing what we know is best for us, and we do know what's best for us. So, I'm getting all excited now. Okay, so the card in the position of hopes and fears. This is an interesting card to have there. This is Daedalus looking at his highly skilled, super talented nephew. Daedalus is holding on to what he's already got, worried that it might somehow be taken from him, as he looks upon the super skill of his nephew, who he thinks will surpass him very quickly in design and blacksmithing and making all kinds of stuff that because he's a great craftsman himself. So in hopes and fears, so the fear, this is how I could actually analyse this. So the fear could be those people in power don't want anybody else. Actually, these two go well together. They don't want any other people going, oh, we've got skills, we don't actually need you, we can build our own home, we can grow our own food, we can find clean water, we can find medicinal herbs, we can find all kinds of things that the earth left for us to help with our health and our nutrition. And there you have, sorry Daedalus to connect you with powerful, deranged psychopaths on earth at the moment, but he's looking upon these super skilled coming up and going, oh, don't know about that. Don't know about these people knowing about how to survive without us. God, blimey, ooh, what can we do about that? Okay, what's the outcome? Okay, more fire. 4 of Wands, more fire. And this is Jason, who is on his way to get the golden fleece. He's managed to gather round him some feisty warriors who are going to help him with their magic and their skills. There's the Argo in the background waiting for them to board and sail off on their great adventure to get the golden fleece. Now remember, Jason is going to get the golden fleece for the king who basically killed his own father. The king has said if you bring back the golden fleece for Zeus, then basically you can have the kingdom. Obviously, the king thinks that Jason is going to be murdered on the way and he'll never survive. But he does. So this does kind of make sense, doesn't it? Here we have the outcome. People think, or the king thinks that Jason's going to be murdered, he's never going to come back, the king is always going to be in position. But no. Jason and his merry band of men go, and with magic and with fate on their way and the gods guiding them, Jason does in fact win back the golden fleece and comes back, and the king is shoved off and Jason is victorious. However, he does miss his old days and he doesn't really do well without a load of adventure. But as in this reading, the outcome, get your merry band of men, go forth, have adventure, prove these authorities wrong, that they think you're just going to die in the midst of it all, prove them wrong, and yes, go and get these skills and use these skills. And I know it's a bit of a theme at the moment in the world about homesteading, homeschooling, home fooding, home medicining, not always possible. There are some good, great medicines out there that are in hospitals and stuff, and doctors. But almost going back to the old ways, the earth ways, finding out, going on an adventure, surviving and thriving against all odds. I think that's the message here, isn't it? I obviously feel complete and utter, empathy is, it doesn't even touch it. My heart goes out to those people so much. I ask all divine love and light to come and help these people in Hawaii. And Goddess knows how they'll get over the losses and the devastation. But just hope that these kinds of things, this love, this relationship, this unity, will all come together and help these people. But yes, I think there's a whole message here of banding together. This one, it seems to me, about learn the lesson, learn that people in power are making so many mistakes on a regular basis, and follow your instinct, follow your heart, follow your skills, band together with other people with skills, and spread your light, spread your love, and that's quite interesting, isn't it? So hope you enjoyed that, and I might do another cheeky little reading to see if there's any more clarity, because I was thinking, is it man-made, is it Mother Earth? But that's not really the message that's coming through. The message is coming through is what you're going to do about it. What you're going to do about it. If this just keeps happening all over the world, and they're starting fires, either Mother Earth or laser weapons, what are you going to do about it? How safe are you? What have you got what have you got organised? How are you going to survive? Okay, here he is, he's about to go off on his adventure. How are you going to survive? What have you got? Who are you going to meet on the way? So that's quite an interesting message. How are you going to survive?